There we go. And we are back live online for all of those virtual students. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So today is the last day that we have the opportunity to review. Tuesday, no, not Tuesday, Monday, we are taking our final exam. We'll be able to knock it out during just the class period, but obviously, we'll figure that out. For you guys that are obviously in the classroom with me here today, I'll be able to hand you a physical copy of said final exam. But for those that are online, obviously, I am unfortunately just only going to have to produce or provide, I should say, a PDF version of the final exam. For those of you that are online, I will only provide that PDF during the final exam period, meaning like when the final exam period is over, I am going to pull the PDF from the Google Classroom assignment, simply because it's a final exam. You can only be working on it during that particular time period is what they're kind of saying. So for you guys in the classroom, you don't have to worry about that. For those of you online, you got to be available during that particular exam period from 7:20 to 8:43. And we'll be able to knock out the exam during that time. And then if you're at home, you'll be able to upload whatever you got, and that will be submitted, and yay, and then class will be done. But then I still have you on Wednesday and Friday. Now, like I said, Wednesday and Friday, I'm not planning on anything. I'm not teaching anything. We're not reviewing anything because we'll have already taken our exam. I will have a few things potentially planned for that. Just, silly, fun things, whatnot. We'll kind of figure it out as we go along. But obviously, if you guys do owe me anything, I have to submit grades for this class, I believe, for seniors no later than the 11th. So the 11th, I believe, is the last day that I could submit grades for seniors. And they want all of those things taken care of for class rank and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, please make sure that you are aware and on top of those dates. As for today. Today, we are going to wrap up the review. There was one big problem from the last page of the review from last time that I would like to finish. And then I have a secondary couple of pages that I would like to review with you guys in preparation for this final exam. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up this problem, and let's see where this goes. So last class, we wrapped up talking about dictators, veto power, and dummies. And then there was this one big problem at the bottom in regards to the Banzhaf power index. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to take you through this Banzhaf power index just to remind you how to calculate such a thing. And then after we do this problem, this is actually the last problem on this first packet of papers. Then I do have a second couple of pages in regards to fair division and things of that nature, and methods of fair division. And that's what we'll wrap up with. Obviously, we've done stuff after fair division. After fair division, we talked a bit about the golden ratio and the Fibonacci numbers. And of course, that's fair game as well. And of course, we did deal with sequences and series, of course, as well. But those are a bit more recent. I wanted to spend this review focusing on some of the older stuff that we have covered in class. What is that? Silly emails. Okay. Banzhaf. Basically, in this weighted voting system, and I'll zoom in on these numbers right here. There we go. In this weighted voting system, there are 5 players. 5 players where not each, but players 1 and 2 clearly have a distinct advantage. Players 1 and 2 have a weight of 5 and 3. And together, players 1 and 2 could pass something if they wanted to. But then at the same time, these other players, which seemingly don't have much power, actually do have more than you think. Because if player 1, who is 5, and players 3, 4, and 5 all vote together, they could pass something. So then the question basically becomes, well, how much power do they have? That's what the Banzhaf power index or the Banzhaf power distribution attempts to do. First, we have to list out winning coalitions. Now, in this case, two-player coalition, only player 1 and player 2 could actually be a two-person winning coalition. Two-person winning coalition, they have a weight of 8. That would be enough to pass a vote. There's no other two-player coalition, none whatsoever. All right, three-player coalition. Well, you could have players 1, 2, and 3. You could have players 1, 2, and 3, because that would be a weight of 9. Well, they don't actually need player 3. I know. They don't need player 3, but that could be a winning coalition because it's 3 players. You could also do the same thing with players 1, 2, and 4, and players 1, 2, and 5. They would be your 3-player coalitions. Are there any other 3-player coalitions? Well, if you did 1, 2, well, you already did 1, 2, and a third person. You can't do 1, 3, and a third person. That wouldn't be enough. So yeah, that's it. That's all you got. So I scroll over to a 4-player coalition. Well, clearly, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They would add up to a weight of 10. And players 1, 2, 3, and 5 would add up to a weight of 10. And 1, 2, 4, and 5 would add up to a weight of 10. That's just a combination of players 1 and 2 and 2 of the remaining 3 players. Zoom in on that. But then the interesting case, the much more interesting case of players 1, 3, 4, and 5. That is a much more interesting case with a weight of 8. Because it shows, being that it's a weight of 8, it actually shows that every single player in this distribution has some power. Oh, I forgot the 5-player coalition. 5-player coalition, player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, player 5. They would add up to, 11? Yeah. For the Banzhaf power distribution, the first thing you have to do is list out all of these winning coalitions. And usually there's like a nice little table that you can utilize to organize your information. No big deal there. But you can set all that information together, and then we'll take that next step. Because if you look at the directions, the directions are up here really, but it says to list only the winning coalitions and their weights in the table. You will not use every space provided. But then it says to circle or underline the critical players in each winning coalition. You are a critical player if you are removed and they drop below the quota. In this 2-player coalition, both of them are critical. Both of them are critical because if you remove one, you can't pass anything. In this 3-player coalition, players 1 and 2 are also very critical, but not 3, 4, 5. Because if you removed player 3 or player 4 or player 5 from these 3-person coalitions, they would still have a weight of 8. So these players are simply not critical. I go over to the 4-person coalitions and I think the same thing. Okay, well, 3 and 4 and 3 and 5 and 4 and 5 and 4 and 5. Well, actually, no, 4 and 5 here. But in the first 3, they're not critical. But if you did remove players 1 and 2, then yes, they would absolutely be critical. Here is where players 3, 4, and 5 actually become critical. Since the weight of this 4-person coalition is 8, if you remove any one player from this, they drop below that quota. Players 3, 4, and 5 are finally critical for the first time in their lives. And then when we get to the 5-person coalition, well, I believe only player 1 is critical. Because if you removed player 2, they would still have a weight of 8. But if you remove player 1, they would drop down to 6. Player 1, by this definition, player 1 is critical in every single winning coalition. By definition, player 1 has veto power. Player 1 has veto power. Not a dictator. Not a dictator, because player 1 can't do everything on their own. But player 1 definitely has veto power. Now, because of this right here, where I'm underlining right here, because of this set of critical players, this actually proves that no one is a dummy in this situation. Absolutely no one is a dummy in this situation, because at any given point, every single player is absolutely critical. Just bring this link back up. There we go. Good. Now it comes time to actually calculate the power distribution. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There are 19 red circles. There are 19 instances of a player being critical. 19. Out of those 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Player 1 is critical 9 out of 19 times, which we can figure out the percentage for that if need be. It's like 47.4%, although not necessary. Once you have the fractions, that's actually quite good. Player 2 is critical in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of those 19 times, which should be 36.8%. It means that's how much of the power that they actually own. Yes, player 1 has veto power, but player 1 does not have over 50% of the power. Doesn't have a majority of the power. Doesn't lie with him. Player 3 was only critical 1 out of 19. So was player 4. So was player 5. They were all critical 1 out of 19, which just for the sake of argument is 5.3%. So even though players 3, 4, and 5 only have 1 vote to their name, they only have a weight of 1 in this weighted voting system, they still have some of the power. In fact, 5% each of the power. Now, together, they may not be able to do anything, but they can help player 1 get over the hump in this one situation that I underlined their names right here. Oh, the Banzhaf power distribution. Now, there was a second power distribution, but this is the one that I'm really going to be focusing on, is the Banzhaf power distribution. I wouldn't give you one where it's like you have to list out 1,000 different things. No, absolutely not. Something like this is a bit more reasonable for listing out the power distribution. Yeah. Okay. So this first packet that I gave you guys on Tuesday, is really focusing on voting systems, voting methods, fair voting methods, different types of voting methods, weighted voting methods. That's what the first main portion of the third marking period focused on. That's what this review was all about. So if you do need to revisit this information, definitely watch the video from Tuesday, the live stream from Tuesday, to go over whichever problem you need to go over. Or, of course, if between now and Monday you do have any questions on this first review packet, make sure that you are emailing me. Okay. Now, like I said, we did have a second little packet of information here. So for those of you in the live stream, for the 3 of you that are in there right now, I am going to be sending you this PDF in a few moments. I have a PDF that I'm going to upload to the Google Classroom stream. but I am for you guys that are here. Make sure that you get a physical copy of this thing, so that you have it to write on and take with you. And for those of you that are joining us live right now, I can upload this thing. Let's see. Add file, browse. Let's see, subject, discrete, final. Was it this one? I want to say it was this one. It may have the wrong year on it, but I want to say it's this one. Let me just double check. Yes. This is it. Good. So this is review number 2, post. It does have the wrong title on it, but that's okay. That has just been posted. So for those of you, again, in the live stream, I just posted this PDF of the second review. Click. There we go. That looks something like this. Zoom out just a little bit. So when we got to this portion of discrete math, we were talking about fair division. Fair division, breaking things up in such a fair way so that everyone gets the share that they are hoping for, or better than the share that they're hoping for, that they feel that they're entitled to. So, for example, first problem, first setup, Stan and Olivia. They buy a pineapple orange cake at a bake sale for $21. Stan likes pineapple twice as much as he likes orange, and Olivia likes pineapple cake 3 times as much as she likes orange. But regardless of that, the whole cake is $21. And in the end, I wrote this little equation right here. Pineapple plus orange equals 21. Well, because I may weigh pineapple a little bit differently. In fact, we'll just go with Stan. Stan would weigh pineapple more than orange. But Olivia would weigh, she likes pineapple cake 3 times as much as orange cake. Oh, she would weigh pineapple cake more as well. They apparently do not like orange cake. But regardless of that, in the end, they bought the cake for $21. And if they bought the cake for $21, then in the end, they personally feel like they are entitled to at least half of that value or more. Which means they would probably feel that, well, I would be happy if I got at least $10.50 worth of value out of that particular cake. So what they're saying here is you need to determine the dollar value of each half of the cake for Stan and Olivia and complete table 1. Well, let's just talk about Stan. Stan likes pineapple twice as much as he likes orange. He likes pineapple twice as much as he likes orange. So in the end, it's like, okay, well, if I like orange, this is Stan, mind you. If Stan likes orange an X amount and he likes pineapple twice as much, in the end, this should equal $21. I don't know how much he likes orange per se, in terms of a dollar amount, but he likes pineapple twice as much. If you were to do this calculation and solve this, 3x equals 21, x equals 7, that's the orange half. Stan would like the orange half about $7 worth. And if you were to do the math the other way, he would like the pineapple $14 as much, or double. He likes pineapple twice as much as he likes orange. He would value the pineapple half at $14. He would value the orange half at $7. A similar calculation can be done for Olivia. I should have left room for her. But since she likes pineapple 3 times as much, you could do a similar calculation right here. Except you're going to get decimals. I'll zoom in on that. You're going to get decimals, but that's okay. 4x equals 21. I could probably do this in my head. I just trying to make sure I don't make a fatal mistake. X would equal 5.25. Now, Olivia likes pineapple cake 3 times as much. She likes the orange cake worth $5.25, and she likes the pineapple half. Well, it's 3 times as much, so let me just multiply that by 3, $15.75. Move that over here. This is just one of those ways that you could potentially figure out how much value someone puts in a certain half of that cake. Now it says, well, number 2 is something completely different. Let me separate number 2 from here. I don't know why I put them so close, but it is a similar question, but I just want to make sure I separate them. There we go. That is how much value they put in the cake, though. I don't know why anyone would like pineapple cake. Pineapple's disgusting. It just really is. Gosh. You ever see a pineapple plant? Nicole, have you ever seen a pineapple plant? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Time out. Pineapple plant. Look at this and tell me it doesn't look fake. Look at that. This is how they grow. This is legit how they grow. They grow on the ground like a couple feet off the ground. It looks absolutely fake to me. But that's apparently how they grow them. It is absolutely ridiculous. See if I can find a good example right here. Look at this. Hold on. Look at that junk right there. That's how they grow. I don't get it. Pineapple's so gross. Anyway, back to this. Zoom out. Now for number 2, it is technically the same information, Olivia and Stan, but all you have to do for number 2 is, okay, how did they actually figure this thing out right here? For the divider, the value of S1, S2 must be what? Now, I wish, Right, okay. I'm trying to figure out right here in terms of the degrees. This is 180 degrees. And they're clearly valuing this pineapple portion at 120 degrees, something along those lines. You know what? I'm going to skip this problem. Yeah, I'm going to skip the rest of this problem right here. As long as you guys can figure out that table, I'm pretty sure I would have removed this thing from the actual exam. So you can cross out the rest of these problems, right? Or not the rest of them, but these 2 problems right here. I'm pretty sure I would have just focused on that first one. Yeah, I'm fairly confident in that. I wouldn't worry about 2 and 3. This is probably why the thing was labeled 2019. Yeah, you guys can't see that, but on the PDF online, I had labeled the thing as 2019, probably because I didn't update it in 2 years. But I'm going to skip those 2 problems for now, and we're going to get down to Meg, Beth, Katie, and Chris. That table, though, that table for the dollar value for the fair amount, I would totally do something like that, though. Let's do this problem. 4 partners, Meg, Beth, Katie, and Chris, are dividing a plot of land valued at $700,000 into 4 parcels. The table below shows the values of each parcel to the partners. What is a fair share value of each parcel of land? Well, a fair share, if it's valued at $700,000 and there are 4 people within this system, a fair share would be $175,000. If it's valued at $700,000 and you're going to be splitting this thing amongst 4 people, then a fair share would be $175,000. So everybody should be getting what they value as $175,000 or more. But of course, each person might value each parcel of land slightly differently. For example, look at Meg. Meg clearly values the first parcel of land at $225,000. That's a lot compared to everything else. And they even give you, well, parcel 2 at 170 and parcel 4 at 190. I'll bring my calculator over here real quick. 700,000 minus 225,000 minus 170,000 minus 190,000. According to this, Meg must value parcel 3 at 115,000. Because altogether, this is going to add up to $700,000. You can do the exact same thing for Beth. 200,000, 170,000, 130,000. In fact, let me just add that up right here. 200,000. Yeah, okay. 170,000, 130,000. Boom. Adds up to $500,000. So that must mean that this slice is $200,000. Do the same thing for the last person, who was that Chris. 150,000, 175,000, 195,000. Boom. Subtract that from 700,000. I get 180,000. Now, if you notice, I skipped Katie, and I did that for a very particular reason. Meg, Beth, and Chris are participating in what is known as a divider-chooser method. In fact, it's divider-chooser in the sense where there are 3 choosers, quote unquote, and 1 divider. Katie happens to be that divider. Katie would look at that land worth $700,000, and she would divide it into 4 sections that she felt was equal value. Now, the problem doesn't tell you that, but the context of the table tells you that. The context being, well, Meg, Beth, and Chris clearly value different slices different ways. And as a result of that, well, Katie must have been the divider. In fact, you could even see in part C, in the space beside each player below, identify the divider and write the bid list for each chooser. Well, Katie clearly is the divider. I'm going to put a little D next to her name. Right there. Katie's clearly the divider. And Katie would easily take slice 1, slice 2, slice 3, or slice 4. It does not matter to Katie. Because if Katie sliced it up equally in her mind, then she's fine with whichever slice she gets left over. Now it's up to Meg, Beth, and Chris to determine what they are going to get. Now I will tell you, Meg looks at these 4 parcels of land, and according to her list, she would only accept slice 1 or slice 4. She would only accept slice 1 or slice 4. In fact, let me circle this in like a purple. There we go. No, that's not purple. Come on, you. Why can't I? Oh, that's better. I got a highlighter. I like highlighters. Meg would only accept these 2 slices because they are more than what everyone deems to be a fair value. Beth would only accept slice 1 and slice 4 as well, because that's what she would deem to be a fair value, more than 175,000. And Chris, well, she would accept either slice 1, slice 3, or slice 4. She would accept any one of those. So let's see. Beth would accept slice 1 and slice 4. Chris would accept slice 1, slice 3, or slice 4. And then what is a fair division of the property? Well, a fair division of the property, first and foremost, Katie would most likely get slice 2, since she is the only one that considers that to be fair. Chris would most likely get slice 3, since Meg and Beth are fighting over 1 and 4. And when it comes down to 1 and 4, well, you have a number of options here. You could put the slices back together and they could redivide them if they wanted to. But based on the way that Meg and Beth have it situated, you could easily just be like, okay, Meg, you get slice 1, Beth gets slice 4. That seems fair. Yeah. And they would agree to that because those are fair shares in their mind. As long as they got more than the $175,000 fair share value, everything's good. This is not the only way that you could have parceled up the land. It's not the only way that you could have divided these different things. But it's probably the most logical way. Okay. On that next page, we got 4 siblings. Now, for those of you that are joining us in the live stream, the PDF of this review is available through the Google Classroom stream. So if you're obviously having trouble seeing things through the live stream, this PDF is available on the Google Classroom. 4 siblings, Alice, Jean, Jerry, Pete, are dividing an estate consisting of the family business, a hardware store, a house, a car, and an heirloom gold watch. And you can see that organized into the table right here. Hardware store, house, car, and gold watch. They are using the method of sealed bids. The bids each player made on the items in the estate are shown in the table. Complete the table to determine the fair division of the estate. Okay. In method of sealed bids, everybody puts a certain bid on each item. So, for example, hardware store, Pete would get the hardware store. Done. He outbid everyone else. But keep in mind that in the end, everyone's going to get a fair share, whether it be an item or a dollar amount. Who gets the house? Well, Jean gets the house because Jean outbid everyone. The other assumption that you have to make on these is that everybody actually does have the dollar amount to pay for these items. Who gets the car? Pete gets the car, as he outbid everyone. Who gets the gold watch? Alice gets the gold watch. One thing that this method does not take into account is if there's a tie, but we're not going to have to worry about ties. In terms of total bid, though, of the 4 items, of the estate, the hardware store, the house, the car, the gold watch, I'm going to add this all up for Alice. Alice, boom, would put the entire estate at $630,500. $630,500. That's Alice. Now, in terms of Alice, okay, what's a fair dollar share? Well, if the entire estate is worth $630,500, if you divide that by 4, you get the number. I'm going to read this carefully and write this. You get the number 157,625. In terms of Alice, she bid that much for each item. The total bid is $630,500. If there are 4 siblings that it's being split up amongst, then Alice must feel that a fair share to her is $157,625. What did Alice receive? Well, she received the gold watch. Gold watch. Good for her. Now let's figure it out for actually all 4 people before we move on to that next step. Jean, the total bid for Jean, probably do this in my head, but there was a lot more money for Jean. It was $1,007,200. Divide that by 4, it would be the exact number 251,800. That would be Gene's fair share. And Gene got the house. Good for Gene. Jerry got nothing. Just put a line there for nothing. Because Jerry, lowballed a lot of things. Oh, Jerry. Poor Jerry. But Jerry is going to be compensated in the end. Now, Jerry, unfortunately, because he bid so low, 286,100, Jerry thinks that, well, he's only entitled to 71,525. Poor Jerry. Pete, he's getting a lot of stuff. Pete's getting the store, and he's getting the car. Pete bid a lot more on average than everyone else. Pete bid in total 1,011,000. It's an odd number. 1,011,000. Divide that by 4. 252,750. Now, again, how I got these numbers, I just basically add up their bids, divide it by however many players there are. I divided it by 4 because of the 4 siblings. Now, what ends up happening is this. We're going to figure this thing out. The preliminary cash settlement is either they're going to get money or they're going to give money. They're going to get money or give money. Alice feels that she is entitled to 157,625. That's what Alice feels that she is entitled to. She got the gold watch, which is worth $1,500 in her mind. If I subtract those two numbers, clearly I'm getting, 156,125. This is what Alice is still going to get. So let me just write the word get. 156,125. Let me zoom in on that. There we go. Gene, on the other hand, dude got the house. Gene felt that he was entitled to 251,800. Got the house, which he felt was $250,000. Show you this calculation right here. Gene is still owed. He's still gonna get $1,800. I'm gonna write the word get, 1,800. Jerry, this is easy. Jerry is not going to get any items, but he is still entitled to 71,000, so he is going to get 71,525. That one was too easy to write down. Now, Pete, on the other hand, Pete? Pete felt that he was entitled to 252,750. But he got, move this down here, he got the house, which he bid $800,000 for, and he got the car, which he bid $10,000 for. Notice the negative number here. Pete is going to have to pay $557,250. $557,250. That's what Pete is going to have to pay. So in the end, Alice gets the gold watch, but she's still entitled to more money because of the fair dollar share. Gene gets the house, but he's still entitled to a little bit more money because of the fair dollar share. Jerry doesn't get any items, but he needs to get a fair dollar share. Pete got way more than he bargained for, but his fair dollar share, minus the items that he got, he would have to pay that money. So in the end, $557,000 is given to, let's say, a lawyer. $71,000, I'll show you what my calculator looks like in a minute, 71,000 would go to Jerry, and 71,525. 1,800 would go to Gene, and 156,125 would go to Alice. Leaving, and I'm going to put this on the side. I put a little spot on outside the table where we would write 327,800. This is the surplus. Because Pete's giving that money to the lawyer temporarily. The lawyer says, okay, here's Jerry's cut, here's Gene's cut, here's Alice's cut. There's still $327,800 left over as a surplus, which clearly is going to go back to each person, divided by 4, 81,950 back to each person. What was that? 81,950. So they're going to get an additional 81,950, 81,950, 81,950, 81,950. Final cash settlement. Well, Alice was going to get that much money plus the surplus. 238,075. Gene is going to get 1,800 plus the surplus. 83750. Jerry was going to get that amount plus the surplus. He's going to get 153,475. Now Pete was originally only going to have to pay 557,250, but now I'm going to actually subtract the surplus, because since he's getting that back, he only has to pay 475,300. Final cash settlement. So they would get that amount, get that amount, get that amount, pay that amount. And I want to emphasize those on the bottom where they get it, they get it, they get it, and he pays it. In the end, these numbers should zero out. Pete pays that amount, and that exact amount of money is split up amongst the 3 other siblings. Pete walks away with the store and the car. Gene walks away with the house. Alice walks away with the gold watch. Now, at the bottom, there's the final settlement. I'm not going to fill that out because I basically just explained it all. It would just basically be rehashing everything. But you can see that, for example, Alice gets gold watch and will receive from the estate $238,075 in cash. Gene would get the house and would receive that much money. Jerry would get no items, but he would receive that money. And Pete would get the store and the car, but he would have to pay to the estate that amount of money. It's an amazing system, but this is a system that actually works in real life. When you have lawyers and things being settled in court and things of that nature. It's absolutely nuts. I'm going to give you a small window into my family's life real quick. I have 3 older sisters, and we're pretty close. We don't argue and fight over things like I know some families do, but probably soon we're going to have to deal with a situation like this with items, because I don't know how old any of your parents are. I'm going to guess, let me just totally guess right now. Are your parents in their 40s? No? What? 50s? Early 50s? 57? Okay, that works. How old are your parents?
They just turned into their 40s.
Into their 40s? Gotcha. When I was a freshman in high school, my dad turned 60. Yeah. He turned 60 when I was a freshman in high school. My dad just hit 82. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to deal with something like this fairly soon. Not looking forward to it. But at the very least, these siblings were most likely fighting over things, whereas like my siblings, thankfully, I don't believe that we would be fighting over things. Although I better get the domino set. We actually have the game dominoes, right? My mom has a domino set from Puerto Rico from 1933. It's made out of elephant ivory. You can't buy this nowadays. You can't. It's illegal. You would not be able to buy it. But since she already has it, she's allowed to own it. I want to inherit that. Just saying, it's made out of elephant ivory. How cool is that? All right, whatever. Weirdos. All right, last page, last problem. Again, my goal for today was the same goal as last time, where I wanted to work on this stuff up until 8:20, and then give you the rest of the time to work on what you need to work on. But I wanted to wrap up with this problem right here, method of markers. So we'll go through it a piece at a time. 6 players use method of markers to divide the items represented. I don't know what the items are, doesn't matter. But the way that it typically works is this. You work your way left to right until you reach the first number 1 marker. And at that point, you give that particular player that, or those items, I should say. So player F is going to get items 1, 2, and 3. Good job, player F. Now player F walks away with their items. They're perfectly happy and content with what they have. Then we work left to right until we get to the first number 2 marker. Well, since player F is the next number 2 marker, we don't have to worry about them because they already got their stuff. So I keep working left to right until I get to the next number 2 marker, which just so happens to be player B. Now, player B put their marker from 5 to 7. Item 4 is going to be a leftover piece. We'll deal with that in a little bit. But player B gets items 5, 6, and 7. They've gotten what they need. Then I work left to right until I come to the first number 3 marker, which is B, which I don't have to worry about, and F, which I don't have to worry about. The one that I actually come across next is player A. And I put this box around the items that player A felt was a fair share, 9 to 13, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Then I work left to right until I come across the first number 4 marker, which is B, and then F. But then there's D. Now, oh, there it is. Player D felt a fair share. It was just 16 and 17. So I'm going to do that. There's player D taken care of. Then I work left to right until I come across a number 5, which is B, which I already did that. And F, already did that. And D, already did that. There's C. C would get these items as a fair share, 19, 20, and 21. And then E is the only one, but E gets everything to the right of their last marker, 23, 24, and 25. There are leftover pieces, 4, 8, 14, 15, 18, and 22. And those leftover items could then be divided amongst all 6 players randomly if need be. It doesn't matter how those leftover pieces are divided because every player got what they felt was a fair share. But that is how method of markers typically works. You work left to right until you come up to that numbered marker and then allocate who's going to get what. I wanted to spend the majority of the time working on voting methods and fair division simply because this is stuff that we saw in the beginning of the marking period or the beginning of this semester. And I wanted to make sure that we at least hit that stuff up. Crazy times. Anywho, okay. What I'm going to suggest that you guys do, you have stuff in my class possibly, if need be, to get done. You have stuff in other classes possibly to get done. But obviously, my class is my class. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. That'd be wonderful. But I am going to give you the remaining time to work on those things. Now, I know for a fact that there are some items that people do owe me. And if you have questions about that, please make sure you are emailing me or asking me that question if need be. There are things that I would like to catch up on for our class and for other classes as well. But we have until 8:43 in this class period. So I would strongly suggest that we do use this time wisely. And then when we come back on Monday, like I said, we are going to be knocking out this final exam. Now, again, on Monday when you come in, final exam, I do have extra calculators if need be. So, if you need a calculator for it, that's fine. For you guys that are here, obviously, I can hand you a calculator, but you're going to get a physical exam. For those of you online, you're going to get the PDF. But that PDF is only going to be available during the final exam period. Just for the sake of argument, because obviously you guys come in, but for you guys online, just to talk very briefly about this. For you guys that are online, we still have class on Wednesday and Friday of next week, even though we would have already taken our final exam. I still would have to take an accurate attendance for those that are virtual. I just want to make sure I'm very clear about this. So on Wednesday and Friday of next week, even though there wouldn't be an official live stream teaching you or reviewing something with you, I will still have to have an accurate attendance during that class period. So please make sure, those of you that are virtual, on Wednesday and Friday of next week, make sure that you log on to Google Classroom, because there will be something indicating the attendance that I have to take. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with that. Okay. And then let me double check one last thing. Where is it? There it is. And there's my roster. Yes, that's what I figured. Okay. This doesn't affect anyone online. Patrick, you are my only non-senior. When the actual final exam period on Tuesday the 15th shows up, all the seniors are excused. So I don't have to do a live stream since, whatever. Obviously I still have to take an attendance, but clearly we're not going to be doing anything during that. I don't know what your plans are for that day. Perfect. There you go. And you're never absent. So it's like if you have one absent, it's no big deal. But, like I said, that's your choice, but I still have to take an accurate attendance. So cool. All right. That'll be fun. I'll just be playing Nintendo Switch all day. I don't know, or something like that. But, well, no, of course, you wouldn't be.
Thursday, Friday of next week, though.
Oh, okay. Of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, because I only have one A and B's, so I only take the first two.
I gotcha.
So that's one that really matters, but I still won't be here Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Okay, I gotcha. Like I said, I still got to take the accurate attendance, but then the following week, of course, you'd be excused. So. Cool. All right. So I'm going to keep the live stream open because class is until, like I said, 8:43. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to be here. But until then, obviously, we have things to work on. So let's go. I always get an email about preparing for graduation and if there's rain. And I'm like, come on, you guys need a win. You need a win. You just need a day with no rain and you'll be fine. Oh my gosh. Oh, what's this? Due to recent COVID guidance updates, there will not be sweet. There will not be a 2-ticket restriction for attendance at graduation. We're happy to announce it, but open to all guests. Tickets will not be required. Oh, that's good. I wasn't allowed to go last year. Perfect. Goodness gracious. All right. And I will, in a few moments, be heading out. I see you guys who have left the comments. I'm going to be signing off on the live stream, and we will see you guys on Monday. Oh, those 4-day weeks go by fast. Click, click. There we go.